Hi, my name is Nathan Hong, and for my final project, I've recreated the Astro Orbiter ride from Disneyland. I chose this as my final project because this ride seemed like a fun challenge and reflected my love for Disney. This project took me around 55 hours to create, and has taught me much more about SolidWorks. I first began with figuring out the rough dimensions for the entire ride. I took a trip to Disneyland for research purposes, and used myself as a human ruler. I estimated the rockets to be about 2.8 meters long, and then used that length as reference for other parts of the ride. I began modeling with the rockets that circled the center. This part took me around 7 hours. I used a number of techniques such as extrude boss, extrude cut, lofted boss, plane references, and circle patterning to create the whole rocket. To get the correct colors on the rocket, I used split lines to separate the main body in two. I then continued to make a hinge mechanism that connected the rocket to the arm, which I made into sub-assembly for easier assembly later on. The arm is where I expected most stress to be, so I did analysis there and found the max stress to be around 584 megapascals and the max displacement to be a mere 1.62 centimeters, meaning it is well within the yield strength of 620 megapascals. I created the piston assembly from 5 individual parts and left the middle rod free to move up and down using a limit distance mate. I created the middle mechanical part to connect all 12 rocket arm assemblies. I used a number of standard and advanced mates, including coincident, concentric, and limit angle in the subassembly. I attempted to use a rack and pinion mate to allow the piston rod to move with the arm, but unfortunately I ran into difficulties with over definition, and I could not figure that out for the final assembly. Next up was creating the base for the ride. These structures were very geometrically simple, but took lots of work to get it just right. The final piece was a decorative shell. This part was like baking a cake because I went layer by layer to create. The hardest part of this piece was the bottom sphere part. Dimensions are not perfectly circular, so I had to use stretch features to get the right curvature. I then had to split and loft a point away from it to get the sharp edges and give this ride its unique look. Finally, I mated my parts together with a mechanical gear mate with a 1-to-1 ratio to allow the ride to spin together. Thanks for joining me on this ride.